Taoiseach, you know that we are completely opposed to Ireland's participation in the so-called EU military assistance mission to train the Ukrainian army. Training one side in a military conflict is a breach of military neutrality. This is part of a drive to integrate Ireland into a process of European militarisation and align Ireland with NATO. It is a full-spectrum military training mission. Its purpose, to quote the European Council, is to enhance the military capabilities of the Ukrainian armed forces. You've been at pains, Taoiseach, to emphasise that Irish Defence Forces will be involved in demining training. However, I had parliamentary questions with the Minister for Defence last week, and I asked for a guarantee that Defence Forces would only be involved in demining and nothing else. Minister Coveney repeatedly failed to give me that guarantee, saying that the details have not been finalised. Can you give me a guarantee that that is all you are sending Defence Forces troops to do?
I mean, first of all, I do take exception to Deputy Murphy's, Deputy Boyd Barrett and Deputy Barry's assertions that somehow the war is being used by the government as an excuse to join NATO and to work with NATO. I think it's a fairly sick allegation to make. I mean, this was an unprovoked war by Russia on Ukraine that nobody wanted, that many countries who were members of NATO spoke to Putin and asked him to stop and not to do it, including President Macron, including Chancellor Scholz. And I don't know why you're so anti-Ukraine, but you are anti-Ukraine. I mean, it's very clear that I am answering. This is how I'm answering the question, Deputy Barry. I'm answering your question if you'll leave me, but you don't like what I'm saying. I mean, you boycotted the minute's silence on the Holodomor. All of you deliberately boycotted that event today. And I want to say to you that in respect of the allegations that you have made, this country is not a member of NATO. We have never. I'm answering the question, Deputy. We've never participated in any military campaign with NATO. But what we have done, I don't know. I wasn't up in Kilworth eavesdropping on what they were going, but I was in Lebanon. And who were we with in Lebanon? Who were we through the chair? Who were we with in Lebanon through the chair? But Ireland was with the Polish army. And what were we doing in Poland? We're peacekeeping with Poland. We peacekeep with other countries who are members of the United Nations. And there has to be interoperability. And I presume that any work that we do with other troops is interoperability in respect to peacekeeping missions that the Irish Army is engaged in. And it is a complete untruth that you are asserting, Deputy, that you are asserting. And every time it comes to Ukraine, and every other deputy in this House today, every other deputy in this House, including Deputy Crowe, I'm to deal with Deputy Crowe's issue, which Deputy Crowe, I will. Deputy Crowe put down a question as well. But what is in stark contrast, every time there is a debate on Ukraine...
Please, thank you.
Every time there's a debate on Ukraine...
Just for a minute. There are at least 4 questions to be responded to. We're way over time. We're out of time, so I would just ask you to deal with those.
I just want to say, every time there's a question in Ukraine, especially to do with refugees, to do with humanitarian, the 3 deputies opposite bring it back to NATO, bring it back to the Russian argument. And it's the same argument used by Russia last week when it named a lot of Irish politicians on their list. You guys are acting like puppets for Putin's regime. It's a disgrace what you're at. And I've watched it now for months. And that's all you do. You're puppets for the Putin regime.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. True, could we do this? Deputies, please. Thank you. The Taoiseach has finished his questions.
I said he was going to answer. He said it just 2 minutes ago. Taoiseach, can you guarantee they're just doing demining training?
Deputies, could we have just a tiny smidgen of respect to the Taoiseach? No, we're not. Deputy Crowe, please, thank you. Can we have a little bit of respect? I'm moving on.